Yo, what's up everyone? Walter Bear here. We do this every single week, so let's just jump right into it. And there's a couple things that when you're reading a piece of sheet music, you'll notice a lot of times. Like here, let me just grab something like, like this. Like a lot of times, you might read it, and you'll see all these crazy little, signs, symbols, crescendos, diminuendos, ties, all these things going on all the way across here. What do they mean? I want to go through all of them, so check this out. Yo, what's up everyone? My name is Walter Barrow, and welcome to your weekly music lesson with Walter. So this record is awesome, okay? Okay, so right here on top, you'll notice, okay, that we have a bunch of these different symbols. Okay, so now here's your treble clef. Okay, the next part is a half note. Now, there's this little sign right here that is actually referred to as a tie. Now, what a tie does is that it literally adds one part to the note to the second part. So this first half note gets 2 beats. When you add the tie literally acts as though it's a plus sign. Okay, so think of it as saying that the half note gets 2 beats, the core note gets 1 beat. Okay, and this tie adds them both together. So, well, now this is dotted at 2, but we'll talk about that in a minute. But this is just really 3 beats. The dot makes it 3.5. This squiggly part, okay, the way you would play that is that's referred to as a vibrato. V-I-B-R-A-T-O, vibrato. And what a vibrato does is that it literally, tells you just to vibrate the string. Okay. And the way that you vibrate the string is that you would play it, and you just simply bend the string like that. Here's how it's going to sound. Ready? 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4. And that's it. Okay? I did the treble clef here. I slid into this note. I slid down on the entire beat here, and I did the vibrato, and then I played the 8th note up here. The way that you would be effectively able to play this would be with a violin. So let's go a little bit further now. We have grace notes. What grace notes do is that they literally they're telling you that the piece of music is played so fast. Well, the note is played so fast that it actually doesn't get a duration at all. Okay. So the way that works is like if I'm playing chord notes going 1, 2, 3, 4. If I were to have 4 grace notes on every chord note, it would sound like this: 1, 2, 3, 4. Or I'd have 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. So the idea of a grace note is that there's an articulation happening. Articulation being an event. Okay. Or an attack. There's an actual articulation happening to the piece of music, but then it's happening so fast it doesn't get its own rhythm. It's telling you it's happening so fast that it just slides into the actual full duration, or pull on, hammer on, whatever, pull off or hammer on. And then here, the next beat of course has a slide. So the D down to an A, which would be playing this D down to an A. This D, I'm sorry. D down to an A. So if I were to play, okay, so that go D, instead of going, I'm throwing a slide in there. Okay, so what that slide does is that it just adds another embellishment. Some music might call for a slide, some music might call for a harmonic. Okay, some music might call for a tremolo pick, which brings me on to my next beat right here, beat 3. Okay, the tremolo pick here. Well, this is actually a tremolo strum, but the way that this works is that when I'm tremolo strumming, I'm actually playing a chord here, D and F, together. Okay, the note's D. sorry, D, and F. Okay, and I'm tremoloing. Okay, and the way that that's working is that when I tremolo, that just means play as fast as you can. Now, there's different levels of tremolo picking too. So if I were to have just one, or maybe just two tremolo signs on there, that's telling you to play it a little bit slower. Oh, okay, well, here, maybe it's easier to say this. This means to play it fast, and that 3 lines would be played very fast, and 4 lines would be like crazy fast. And 4 lines would be like flamenco, like crazy. And then this here, of course, is a rest. Okay, so that's the idea of all these embellishments and all these things. I'm going to play this for you really quick, and then you'll be able to literally hear how it's supposed to sound with all these little embellishments. Now, there's a lot of other embellishments too. You know, the idea of dotted chord notes. You know, of course, you have slurs on top of the ties, and slurs. This is a tie because it's the same note. This is going from a C to a C. Okay, but the idea of a slur in music is when the second note is either higher or lower. And the reason why that is because if I'm playing from a C and going up to a D, it's slurred up. And if I'm going D or C from down to like an A, it's slurring down, referring to a pull-off. Okay, so slurs refer to a hammer-on or a pull-off, and ties refer to the fact of just holding the note out. And so also, these are treble clefs. Alright, and so what treble clefs are telling you is the range of the instrument. Okay, if I have a note that's super low, like a bass note, then I'm not going to throw that in treble clef, most likely. I'm probably going to throw that in treble or alto clef. Don't worry about alto. But I'm probably going to throw it in a low bass clef, and the reason why I'm doing that is because that's the range of the instrument. Okay, you know, the instruments that use treble clef are like piccolo, flute, guitar, you know, the right hand for the piano, you know, trumpet, all these instruments that are very high up. The lower instruments like the bassoons, the basses, you know, the cello, the trombones, all those instruments, well, not, I wouldn't say horn, but you know, all those instruments are actually lower in the spectrum of music, and they actually get a bass clef. Now, there's also instruments that are in the middle, where they're not too high and they're not too low, but they're right in the middle, and those would use an alto clef because they're literally in between the treble and the bass clef. And I want to explain more about that next week. We're going to learn all about the alto clef and how that works. So definitely check that out. Thank you guys so much for all your help. You guys are awesome. And you know, any questions you have, definitely let me know. And I'm going to help you guys out, okay? So don't forget to follow me on Twitter. Any questions you got, let me know. And I hope that helps answering a lot of these questions. Okay? So there you guys have it. Your weekly music lesson with Walt. Subscribe, rate, and comment. And there you guys go. Peace.